Vande Mataram. Welcome back to my channel, Courtroom Battles. Dear friends, my name is Dr. Tushar Mandlekar and I am a practicing advocate in Bombay High Court. I have created this channel for the benefit of young lawyers and young students of the law who are interested in law and who enjoy discussion on the case laws. If you have interest in latest case laws and wish to go ahead with the enhancement of the knowledge, please join my channel, Courtroom Battles. Dear friends, today we are going to discuss the most important case law in the consumer jurisprudence, wherein the Honorable National Commission has decided with the larger bench that who can file the representative suit or the class action suit before the consumer courts. Dear friends, with the advent of the real estate business in this country, large number of flat schemes are being constructed by the builders all over the country, and many a times the consumers do not get possession of the property within due time. The consumers are also deprived of getting their legitimate amenities and facilities promised by the builders at the time of booking. All these consumers have the common grievance and they wish to go against the builder in the consumer court. So there were different questions and different opinions formed by different benches of the National Commission while dealing with the pecuniary jurisdiction of the National Commission or while dealing with the case of the representative capacity under which the consumer complaint case can be filed by one or more consumers against the same builder. Dear friends, in a celebrated judgment of Ambarish Shukla versus Ferris Infrastructure Private Limited, the Honorable National Consumer Commission, New Delhi, has given answers to all these questions. Let us see what are the questions which were framed before the court and what is the view of the Honorable National Commission. If you are a lawyer practicing in the consumer jurisprudence, this is most important video for all of you. Please continue watching Courtroom Battles. The Honorable National Commission has framed certain questions. 1. Whether a complaint under Section 12(1)(c) of the Consumer Protection Act filed on behalf of or for the benefit of only some of the numerous consumers having a common interest or a common grievance is maintainable, or it must be necessarily be filed on behalf of or for the benefit of all the consumers having a common interest or a common grievance against the same person. Number 2. Whether a complaint under Section 12(1)(c) of the Consumer Protection Act is maintainable before National Commission where the value of the goods or the services and compensation, if any, claimed in respect of none of the allottees or purchasers exceeds ₹1 crore. Number 3. Whether the complaint under Section 12(1)(c) of the Consumer Protection Act is maintainable before National Commission where the value of the goods or services and the compensation claimed in respect of any individual consumer is more than 1 crore and other consumers is less than 1 crore. Whether a complaint under Section 12(1)(c) of the Consumer Protection Act is maintainable in a case of allotment of several flats in a project or building where the allotment, bookings, purchase are made on different dates and different prices or different areas which are not identical in any of the bookings of one particular consumer. Now, dear friends, these were most important questions of law which were required to be answered by the Honorable National Commission for the protection of the rights of the consumers all over this country. In view of the different views coming up from different courts, different state commissions and national commissions have answered all these questions in different opinions. So dear friends, let us see what exactly the Honorable National Commission has answered in this particular case law. Dear friends, the Honorable National Commission has held that commonality in the interest of the consumers is a primary requirement for the purpose of instigating the class action suit under Order 1, Rule 8 of the Civil Procedure Code and under 12(1)(c) of the Consumer Protection Act. The primary object behind permitting a class action suit or a complaint under Section 12(1)(c) of the Consumer Protection Act is to facilitate the decision of the consumer dispute in which a large number of consumers are interested. Without recourse to each of them to file an individual complaint, it is necessary that such a complaint is filed on behalf or for the benefit of all such consumers with a commonality of the interest. A complaint on behalf of only some of them will not be entertained or should not be maintainable. If, for instance, 100 flat buyers or plot buyers in a project have a common grievance against the builder developer and a complaint under Section 12(1)(c) of the Consumer Protection Act is filed on behalf of or for the benefit of say 10 of them, the primary purpose behind permitting a class action will not be achieved, since the remaining 90 aggrieved persons will be compelled either to file an individual complaint or to file complaint on behalf of other consumers. This, in the view of the National Commission, could not have been the legislative intent. Therefore, the term persons so interested and persons having the same interest used in Section 12(1)(c) of the Consumer Protection Act will have to be interpreted. The use of the words all consumers so interested and on behalf of all the consumers so interested in Section 12(1)(c) leaves no doubt that such a complaint must necessarily be filed on behalf of all the persons having a common grievance. Sub-Rule 2 of Rule 8 of Order 1 of the CPC mandates the court to give notice of the institution of the suit to all such persons so interested, meaning thereby to persons having the same interest, that is a common grievance, on whose behalf or for whose benefit the complaint is instituted. So dear friends, one must remember that the joint consumer complaint or representative consumer complaint filed under Section 12(1)(c) by one or more consumers must necessarily have the common interest, and it must be filed for the benefit of all the consumers in the particular scheme. The grievance of the consumers must be common. Say for example, if all the buyers in the scheme do not receive a sale deed from the builder, or all the buyers in the housing scheme do not get the promised amenities and facilities from the builder as promised at the time of the booking. The question here is, there has to be a common grievance. And number two, the key word you must remember that the consumer complaint should be filed for the benefit of all the consumers, not for the few of them. On the part of value of the goods or the pecuniary jurisdiction, the Honorable National Commission has also answered. Section 21 of the Consumer Protection Act, to the extent it is relevant, provides that National Commission has the jurisdiction to entertain complaints where the value of the goods or services and compensation, if any, claim exceeds 1 crore. Therefore, what has to be seen for the purpose of determining the pecuniary jurisdiction is the value of the goods or services and the amount of the compensation claimed in the complaint. If the aggregate of the value of the goods or the services or the compensation claimed in the complaint exceeds 1 crore, the National Commission has the jurisdiction. So what is required to be seen is the calculation to be done in order to calculate the pecuniary jurisdiction of the National Commission. The value of the goods or the services and the compensation which is claimed by the consumer will have to be clubbed together in order to cross the barrier of rupees 1 crore of a pecuniary jurisdiction. If the aggregate of the value of the goods purchased or the services hired or availed of all the consumers having the same interest and the total compensation, if any, claim for all of them comes to more than 1 crore, the pecuniary jurisdiction would rest with the National Commission. The value of the goods purchased or the services hired or availed of and the quantum of the compensation, if any, claim in respect of one individual consumer, therefore, would be absolutely irrelevant for the purpose of determining the pecuniary jurisdiction in such a complaint. So, dear friends, what is required to be seen here is the collective value of the goods paid by the consumers and the compensation sought. The aggregate of this should cross the pecuniary barrier of the National Commission. Dear friends, the Honorable National Commission has further held that what is required for the applicability of Section 12(1)(c) of the Consumer Protection Act, read with Order 1, Rule 8 of the CPC, is sameness of the interest. That is a common grievance of the numerous persons which is sought to get redress through a representative action. Therefore, so long as the grievance of the consumers is common and identical relief is claimed for all of them, the cost, size, area of the flat or plot and the date of booking, allotment, purchase would be immaterial. Dear friends, this is most important observation. You will have to consider that irrespective of the cost of the flat, irrespective of the size of the flat and irrespective of the date of the booking, if the grievance is same and common, all those consumers can be clubbed together and a representative class action suit can be filed. Dear friends, what is also required to be considered and kept in mind that the relief claim will be the same or identical. For instance, in a case of failure of the builder to deliver timely possession, refund or possession, or in the alternative, refund with or without compensation is claimed for all of the consumers. Different reliefs for one or more the consumers on whose behalf or for whose benefit the complaint is filed cannot be claimed in such a complaint. The relief will also have to be same. So dear friends, while drafting the class action suit, you will have to be very careful and see that the reliefs which are being sought are common in nature. Dear friends, therefore the National Commission looks into the prayer of the class action suit filed under Section 12(1)(c). The prayers are necessarily required to be drafted for the benefit of all the consumers in the particular scheme. Therefore, make sure that the words for all the consumers in the housing scheme are incorporated properly into the prayer section. The Honorable Supreme Court has recognized that the interest to the flat buyers is paid by way of Act, authorizes the consumer forum to award the compensation. No specific power to award interest has been conferred upon it. Therefore, in view of the provisions contained in Section 21, 17 and 11 of the Consumer Protection Act, the amount of the interest which can be paid as compensation must necessarily be taken into account for determining the pecuniary jurisdiction. So, for the purpose of determining the pecuniary jurisdiction, the compensation of amount which is claimed as well as the interest will have to be added to the value of the goods or the services which has been already paid by the consumers. Dear friends, another important question which was answered by the Honorable National Commission, that the cooperative societies or the registered firms cannot file the consumer complaint. In view of the term consumer, which has been defined in Section 2(1)(d) of the Consumer Protection Act, the consumer means any person who buys any goods for a consideration or who hires or avails of any services for a consideration and includes the user other than the purchaser of the goods and beneficiary. Other than the person hiring or availing of the services of the consideration. Now, dear friends, therefore a cooperative society or a group of cooperative society is not entitled to file a consumer complaint under Section 12(1)(c). Similarly, no group of firms, society or association can file a complaint unless such group of firm or society or association itself is a consumer defined in Section 2(1)(d) of the Consumer Protection Act. Dear friends, number of consumers form their cooperative society or the registered society and they intend to file the consumer complaint for the benefit of all the consumers through the society, which is not permissible as per the National Commission. No person who does not qualify as a consumer in terms of 2(1)(d) of the Consumer Protection Act can be a party to the consumer complaint as a consumer. Another important part which is required to be considered, dear friends, that the decision given by the Honorable National Commission in a representative suit filed under Section 12(1)(c) is binding on all the consumers of the particular scheme. But at the same time, the decision will not be binding on all those consumers who have already filed a consumer complaint before the particular court. The decision in one complaint filed in representative capacity will bind all the consumers on whose behalf or for whose benefit the complaint is filed, as provided in Order 1, Rule 8 of the CPC. Therefore, once a complaint in a representative capacity is filed under Section 12(1)(c) of the Consumer Protection Act and the requisite permission to file such a complaint is given by the National Forum, a second complaint in a representative capacity under Section 12(1)(c) of the Consumer Protection Act is not maintainable. So dear friends, we have to see very carefully that once such a complaint is permitted by the Consumer Forum, the second representative complaint under Section 12(1)(c) is not permissible. The persons who intend to join the grievance will have to join the first complaint which is permitted by the Consumer Forum as a representative suit under Order 1, Rule 8. Dear friends, sometimes it is found and observed that the group of consumers file representative complaint under Section 12(1)(c) and another group of the consumers file another representative complaint under Section 12(1)(c) against the same builder or developer. In such a situation, the Honorable National Commission says that the first complaint filed by the group of consumers will be entertained as the representative suit, and second such complaint is not maintainable in the eyes of the law. Persons who have filed second complaint will necessarily have to come and join the first complaint. One must also remember that once the requisite permission under Section 12(1)(c) of the Consumer Protection Act is granted by the Consumer Forum, then an individual complaint expressing the same grievance will not be maintainable, and the only remedy to a consumer having the same grievance is to join as a party to the complaint instituted in a representative character. So one must remember that the representative suit, once granted, in fact, locks the fate of all the consumers in the same scheme against the same developer for the same grievance. So dear friends, I hope many doubts are clear in today's lecture. If you have liked this video, please like it, subscribe it and share it with your friends. Please continue watching Courtroom Battles. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.